Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the channel if you're new here. This is episode 2 of my camper truck build series, where I'm converting my 1999 Mercedes Vario truck into my dream off-grid expedition camper truck come tiny home on wheels that I'm going to be living in. And in this week's video, I've got a bit of preparation to do for the rust proofing. It's often a step that's overlooked when you're doing a camper conversion, but it's really important. So I'll be covering that in the next video, hopefully. But this week I need to prepare the wheel arches, the wheel wells, because there's a little bit of rust showing through in there. And I also want to strip off the flatbed off of the back so we can get access to the chassis and make sure it's absolutely mint for this conversion going forward. I'm going to start off by working on the wheel wells. You can see there's a bit of rust showing through here from previous welding repairs. So I want to grind that back and clean it up. And I'm going to paint all this black in here so it looks nice and neat when we change the body colour. It's got to get ugly before it gets pretty. So let's start removing bits. I start by removing the plastic wheel arches by drilling out the rivets, and that'll give me better access to the welding repairs so I can grind them all back nicely. I think the grinder's got to be one of my favourite workshop tools. It's so useful. Now I want to know what your favourite handheld power tool is, something you just couldn't be without. Let me know in the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't know what that is. Any idea? Looks like a little bulb. So using my grinder with a selection of wire wheel attachments and grinding discs, I begin grinding back the rusty welds, making sure to remove every last speck of rust. Whoever welded this up did a really good job. However, they didn't grind the welds back, and it's allowed moisture to sit in between the lumpy bumpy bits, which has caused the rust to come through. So by grinding them back, we should have a nice smooth surface to apply our paint and under seal, and that'll prevent moisture from getting in there and allowing the rust to set in. I ground all the welds back so they're now nice and smooth, removing any bits of orange rust that I could see. I've also cleaned up the wheel arches and I'm just blowing these off, ready to apply a rust converter. I'll be talking more about rust converters in the next video, and I'm actually changing over to a different product because I've run out of this and I can't get it anymore. Basically, it just converts any rusty bits to a black paintable substance. It stabilizes it and stops the rust from spreading, so you can paint straight over the top of it. This won't work for flaky rust, and it certainly won't work for holes. You'll have to weld that up. It's more designed for surface rust, and the best method will be to remove the rust completely and then just use this for any areas you can't get to remove the rust, or that you just want to encapsulate and stop it from spreading. I repeat the same process on the other side, removing any rusty bits using my grinder, and then after applying the rust converter and allowing it to dry, I apply a satin black finish paint over the top of it. Now I'll put a link to this paint in the description. I used it for my differential and it's got a really nice finish. It's only a single pack paint, so you don't have to mix it with any hardener, but it dries really quickly and it applies really well. So that's the paint applied over the bare metal and any of the welds that I ground back. But I want to match in the colour, so in order to do that, I'm going to first of all degrease all of the white section in the wheel wells because they're covered in dirt. I'm going to be putting some fresh underseal on here on top of the existing, and as you can see it's a little bit shiny, so I'm just going to key up the surface so that the new underseal sticks nicely. And for that I'm just going to be using a little bit of, I've got two 40 grit sandpaper, so I'm just going to scuff up the surface a little bit just to remove any shine. Another nasty little patch up here. Let's just scratch off any of that loose rust. Before painting on my stone chip, I just clean up the wheel wells with some isopropyl alcohol to remove any of the dust and any remaining grease or dirt. I then apply my stone chip over the top of that, and it gives it that really nice factory satin black finish. And would you look at that? I think that looks better than factory personally. I much prefer that satin black finish than the white that was in there. But most importantly, our wheel wells are well and truly protected, ready to apply our rust proofing in the next video. So stay tuned for that if you're interested.
It's a good bloody start, isn't it? Dead battery.
Now you can see here it's got one new battery and one old one. If you've got a twin battery set up like this, you should always replace them as a pair, because if you replace just one, then your old one's going to drag down the new one eventually when one of the cells fails, which is what's happening here, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and order two brand new ones just to eliminate this as a problem. But in the meantime, let's drop the sides off the back.
So I'm in the process of removing this subframe here, which has got the flatbed on top. You may be asking why. Well, the wood's all rotten, so I can't really reuse that. I don't want to put my box on top of this. And because it's a ladder chassis, it flexes quite a lot. So we've got to take that into consideration when we mount the box on top.
Not to mention, this steel subframe is very heavy, and I think doubling up on subframes is probably not a good idea for this. But I do have a good idea for what I could use this flatbed subframe for in an upcoming project. With all the subframe mounting brackets removed and the side lights removed and coiled up, it was time to remove the flatbed.
And as if by magic, the gods at Amazon have sent me two brand new replacement batteries.
Who knows where this truck's going to be taking us, so I thought it'd be a good idea to get a couple of decent starter batteries for it. And believe it or not, the best price I got for these was on Amazon, next day delivery, so let's get those fitted. Perfect.
just tied that railing up because it was falling down. So now I should be able to drag that off the back.
I definitely should have cut off the metal legs before trying to remove it, but patience isn't my strongest point.
Right, I've propped that up so it's completely disconnected. I've now just got to get my truck out of the way.
With the flatbed body removed, you can now see the bare bones of the chassis. It looks to be in really good condition and we want to keep it that way. So in the next video, I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to rust proof this chassis. And if we have a look at the back of the cab, you can see it's been, well, adapted. It used to be a horse box, so we need to sort out something there. And I've got something in mind, but again, that'll be an upcoming video. This ladder chassis is made up of 2 heavy-duty C-sections of steel, and on top of that, the previous owner, when they did the flatbed conversion, has screwed some wood slats to it, and they're all going rotten, so I'm going to be removing those. To make it easier, I just use my recip saw and just cut them into smaller manageable pieces and then just snap them off of the chassis. I'm going to be taking this down the weighbridge in a little while so I can get a before the conversion weight, so just the chassis and cab without any body on it. This is the ideal opportunity to do it, so let's make sure we remove every bit of unnecessary weight, like these pieces of wood. They don't need to be on there, so let's get rid of those. And with the pieces of wood removed, we can see just what it was hiding. Big chunks of rust. Not ideal. Fortunately, these steel beams are really heavy duty and made out of thick steel, so they're still very strong. Let's take a drive down to the weighbridge and see how much it weighs with just the chassis cab, and then that way we'll know how much weight we've got to work with for our conversion. Being the 612D model, this Vario's got a gross vehicle weight of 6 tonnes, so that should give us plenty to play with. If you're planning a similar build but using a 3.5 tonne platform, like on a Sprinter for example, then you're going to have to be a bit selective with the building materials you use so that you keep it within that 3.5 tonne limit. This is at my local scrapyard and they've kindly let me weigh the truck free of charge, so here I am just driving it around onto the weighbridge. It always makes me a little bit anxious driving around in a scrapyard because people have been, well, dropping off scrap, I guess, and you get lots of screws lying around. And obviously I don't want to pick them up in my tyres. I've got the ticket from the office with the weight printed on it. Let me know in the comments below how much you think this vehicle now weighs. Now we stripped the flatbed off, just the chassis cab, and I'll reveal all in the next video, so stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed, it's completely free, and if you click that alarm bell and set notifications to all, you'll be notified when I post new videos.
It does fly now though, absolutely flies. It's like a rocket ship.
As always, thank you ever so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one, where we're going to be cleaning up that chassis to make it look like new again, and then I'll be showing you how to apply a recommended rust prevention coating, which should keep that undercarriage rust free for years to come.
It's really good fun. I'd love to take this round a racetrack like this.